But now he's kind of forced to split his attention. Does he immediately steal the black hole, risk getting stunned out by the supernova? Does he steal something else?
Wait,
How do you break up this combo?
in reality, if there was a black hole and a supernova right next to each other, I believe the black hole, scientifically speaking,
Hmm.
should
Absorb it.
absorb it, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you for
Not
that. Just
quite.
a
Not quite how it
quick,
works here, but
quick space lesson, I guess.
yeah,
You,
it's
you kind of just brought it up, and I was like, you know, what would happen there? Oh,
well,
Neon
okay.
Esports do go. Okay, so now it's a core tiny that we're seeing. Here's my problem. Neon Esports draft right now is just super squishy.
Mm,
It I think your draft overall is just very, very weak altogether. Uh, I really did think they were going to go for you talked about the troll, you talked about the Ursa. I thought that's where they would go with this.
mm.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. Neon Esports, their draft just looks very soft. It's very effective early on, right? You've got so much burst damage and
Yeah.
even damage over time with Neon Esports.
Hmm.
If T1 takes too long to farm up, it could be problematic because then Neon Esports could just set a tempo that's way too quick to keep up with. But if you have someone like in your dream on that Ember who does get a good lane for himself and who can really start going and rotating at that 10-minute mark or so, I mean, look at how many options he has to take out. Like, it's just so many heroes right now that just die so quickly to the Ember Spirit.
Yeah. It's
I didn't think they were going to go into that Snapfire, John.
I don't know about it. I don't know about it.
10
Like
seconds
it's
remaining.
as you mentioned, it's got its weakness. It's got its spot, right? Like the moment you hit
5
6
seconds
on your
remaining.
snap in Veno, if you get the lift from Rubik, you're guaranteed a kill. That you've got that combo, but you have to worry about everything else coming out from Neon, and you have the I guess the tiny core is something we've seen like once when it's been picked up, and it's been a while since it's been in vogue. I don't know how much you're really expecting here. Again, it comes
Radiant
online really
team
early, all of these heroes from Neon, but it's just it feels like their first game yesterday. Remember that when they had that Ven over Skem? I'm worried that they're giving Skem something that he's not really going to explode in. Skem's tendency is just really heavy farm heroes. The NP where he just itemizes for damage.
Right.
Uh, his Spectre is
10
great, his
seconds
Morphling's great,
remaining.
but I don't think of a Pause 1 Tiny in that same role.
5
I'm
seconds
actually worried
remaining.
if it's not a Pause 1 Tiny, it might be Pause 1 Veno. In the end, there's just that
Wild
flexibility that
team pick.
might work against them. They close with the Ursa. Okay, so they actually do get the Ursa in the end. That should be the Skem hero. A bit more confidence there. The
But why
Venmancer and
go for
Tiny
the
Course on
Snapfire
top.
why go for the
Hmm.
snap in the first place if you're going to go Ursa?
The guarantee? Just to guarantee yourself you're not being split up. Maybe the black hole's going off. It's
10 seconds remaining.
I know this is a strange set of events for Neon.
5
I think there
seconds
is
remaining.
potency, but it's definitely not as bombastic as T1. You
Okay.
do have the Rubik for counterplay. You do have, I guess, if you jump the Ember on time with the Tiny, then you can burst IYD down.
Right.
But T1 have the space to close out here with with whatever they want. They understand what Neon has. They know they can kite the Ursa around. They just played it.
I would
They know
legitimately
what to do
just
against it.
you could legitimately just go something like Medusa right now.
Hmm.
They have no way to burst you down in the late game. You can just kite them all around. They don't have they don't have the disable for it. Like,
Hmm.
it's greedy. They'd have to drag out
Very.
the game, but Medusa would just stand there and be like, "Well, what are you gonna do about me? I'm just gonna pop Stone Gaze every time you're close, and every time you're not, I'm just gonna hit you."
Yeah, I think that would be really good here. They just have to watch out for the early burst. But once you ride out the 25-minute mark, 30-minute mark, it should be a bit better. I think another option would be maybe a Void. No, they go with the Medusa. Okay.
It's just an
So
obvious
that
pick.
is, yeah, it just ties in. I mean, you have the Black Hole, you've got the Supernova, and the Stone Gaze. This is not something you want to fight into as 5 as Neon. They should be focusing on the pickoffs. That's where their lineup really shines. And that's where they have to kick off. You get fast levels on your Podge, you start rotating early, you start punishing the Medusa early, shut down the map, and that's how you win it out. But T1, they just need to hit 6. It is greedy. Like, to be fair, this is fairly greedy coming out from T1. Like, Enigma, Phoenix, Shaker all need EXP. All of them need some form of farm. So that early split is going to hurt them just a bit. But once you ride through that tough spot,
10
if
seconds.
Neon doesn't find the advantage, T1 can easily just take over.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Neon can finish this game quick enough. It's just about winning these lanes for Neon. They win the lanes, that should mean they dominate the mid game, and that should mean they win the game earlier than T1 can get in your Dream Online. If they don't dominate these lanes though, and if we have another long game like we had in game 1, I can't see Neon winning.
No, it's Medusa late. You know, it's like the Ursa. I mean, Miracle tried hard to make it work late, but at some point it really just careened off. He was the only hero left. You might see that situation for Neon where they suddenly start putting all their eggs into one basket on Schem, and you find that the Ursa is lacking. You know, it doesn't match up to the Dusa. So, tight timer for Neon. Have to look for them to really dominate the lane. I mean, they can, right? You've got a Venomancer. We've seen that Veno, if it gets off on the right foot, it can shut down the lane. So T1 has to be careful about that early greed. Neon, you really got to pump out that aggression from minute 0. Just keep going.
Everyone's just dead on the side of Neon. So T1, you're just going to hold out this game. It's a very, very simple way of winning, right? You just keep hitting creeps. Basically what happened last game anyway.
Prepare.
Eventually, Neon Esports will feel the pressure to try and push into this this T1 lineup before they get out of control, and it might just be too late by that point. Forev's on the offlane Shaker.
Yeah, I think they just want to prioritize that farm because, you know, Paulson, when you have the Enigma anyway, it's just going to jungle. You know, it's still going to get the same thing done on the offlane or pause 4, so you might as well give Forev an opportunity to maybe find that early EXP by putting him on the Shaker core. This is a bit of a tough lane for the Shaker, just solely by nature of how the Enigma plays.
30 seconds.
You know, it just tends to dip into the jungle, although it does look like Paulson's actually going to be hanging up top. And we actually didn't mention it's IYD in Medusa and Miracle on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, they're going to switch it up a bit.
Look at that, Mike. They've got the levels.
They've got the levels.
Battle begins.
Januel gonna fight with Jocam over this bounty. It looks like Jocam does actually manage to snag it away from Januel, but it is gonna be a 3-for-1 bounty rune trade for the side of Neon Esports. And even at this level 1 stage, they have a very, very strong kind of team fight lineup, just with their level 1 abilities. So I don't think T1 felt very confident in trying to push into that. And of course, Forever was just focusing on making sure that his wave is going to be blocked twice so he can get the advantage in that laning stage. He knows he's going to have a tough time up against that Ursa in this lane. So it's definitely necessary to make sure you kind of sacrifice a bounty and just try to make sure you get your equilibrium right for this Dire's side of this off lane.
Yeah, it's going to take until like level 3 for this dual lane from T1 to really sustain. They have to be careful about the aggression from John Yuel. With the early boots and, you know, just the raw right-click damage they can trade with, it'd be easy to punish. Like the Phoenix, if you land your Fire Spirits, can pressure out. I don't think the Snapfire is going to care too much. Scatterblast is a lot more obnoxious than it should be in that early level.
Of course, in that mid lane, in your Dream, he's going to be up against that mid-tiny from your Pash. Mid-tiny can be quite devastating. to say the least. If you you do make the right rotations, the Avalanche Toss basically kills anyone on the map from T1 side of things, apart from maybe the Medusa. But Yopaj should be able to rotate quite early on in this Tiny and start finding himself kills. It is going to be sort of a matter of whether he wants to go for that right-click Tiny build or whether he is just going to focus on just on the Avalanche Toss combo. I think the combo itself would be preferable over the right-click build because you already have the Ursa there. Just that Magic Burst will probably be better in this game for Yopaj, and I'm fairly sure that's what he should decide on.
Yeah, it gives him that early momentum you want to be seeing from Neon as well to focus on that. So wouldn't be too surprised if we do just see an early blink onto Yopaj over the Echo Saber. We've seen a couple of times go for the Echo, but I think you really just want to get the jump in this case for Neon.
Look at that top lane as well. Miracle's going to struggle quite a bit on this Ember, John. He's up against that Raging Potato Venomancer, and it's just every time he gets close, he takes the Gale, he takes the Poison Sting. He's going to slowly start running out of regen here on this Ember. He can't even get close. Like, he's got to try and slide a fist to secure creeps, but that's not really that easy. Raging, even underneath the T1 tower for Miracle, you could just harass him while he's trying to CS. Just like Raging is trying to do right now. And surprisingly enough, Miracle doesn't bother going for the Flame Guard. So all this magic damage that Raging Potato is dishing out is very effective. None of it's getting blocked.
Yeah, it's a tricky lane for Miracle, and this is what happens when you do have that Enigma 4. Paulson is just not going to be able to help, so Miracle's always going to be ticking this low. If he's not careful, Raging can really look for the cleanup. As you mentioned, down with regen, pops the salve, 2 tangos left. One more Gale, and you know, you're really just sitting on the edge there.
Things looking a bit rough here for Forever as well on that Earthshaker. He's just he's farming okay, but he's consistently having to pull the wave over back to his tier 1 tower. Skem, of course, is essentially free farming on the Ursa right now. There's just no way to slow him down. So you expect Skem to have a pretty good game this time around. Especially considering with T1's draft, you won't really be seeing many rotations. And top lane, there's that first blood coming out. Miracle does end up going down. Playhard made 1 rotation on the Rubik, just coming back to that top lane, and it's really that easy.
Yeah, it's an Ember Spirit left alone against Veno. There's really not much you can do in this case if you are Miracle, and it looks like they will really just give Miracle a bit of a hard lane. They want to find the earlier farm on their playmakers. They just want the EXP on the Ember, which can work out if they just kind of space it out right.
Got to be a little bit concerned here for T1 though. Like you're kind of depending on that Ember to have a good game, so he can buy space with the Medusa. Like you're running this 4 protect 1 kind of lineup, and it has been a very, very greedy draft from T1. If Miracle does not secure a lane here, this could really go to bad places, and now he got a bit greedy trying to go for that chains, but Raging should have the damage and play hard. We'll get the kill once again. That'll be a 2-0 on the Rubik. Tried to turn around to just get those chains off, and it costs him his life.
Bit greedy, the creep wave was coming in, and the punishment is there from Neon. So Raging off a really good start. Our Venomancer is going to be hitting level 6 in a really good time, and that means his damage is going to be great. He can get early rotations out. He can shove towers in fast once he has a level in Plague Ward if he opts for it, and this is not good news for T1. As you mentioned, the Ember does need to be up and running. I think in this case, it looks like, again, T1's prioritizing Forev. They're prioritizing Paulson over Miracle. They just want to be able to get that timing with their greedy supports up first before they end up giving space back to Miracle. So this is just really the way of it with this kind of draft. T1, as long as it's just Miracle and you're still finding farm on, say, Paulson, I think you'll take that trade, but it's a very fine balance to cut for the Ember Spirit.
That it is. We've seen Raging before on this offlane Veno. If this keeps up, he can get really out of control. He's already sitting at level 5. So he's very close already to getting that Poison Nova Once the Poison Nova's up, Miracle has no way to survive. It's still no Flame Guard points. So he's going to take all that damage. And I imagine if you're Raging Potato, as soon as you've got that level 6, if you can connect a Gale and go for that Nova, I would just do it. Because he's alone right now. He's not level 6 in the Ember yet. In fact, Raging is going onto that Ember. Still hasn't skilled up that Nova yet. He's holding out to see if he'd prefer to go for that third point in Gale. But he is starting to chip away slowly at this HP pool of this Ember Spirit. In mid lane, they are going into In Your Dream. He's already out of mana. They won't chase for it underneath that tier 1 tower. But bot lane, Forev does go down to Skem now on the Ursa. And, well, that's going to make it a 3-0. None of these lanes going very well, though Raging is going to fall quite low at the top lane. Still hasn't chosen whether he wants that Nova up. Just holding that skill point. Miracle was trying to chase for the kill onto that Venomancer, but ultimately Raging Potato will be able to run away.
Still pretty decent for Raging. I think even if you don't find the kills in Miracle, he's at the point where he's forced to level the Slight and Searing. He doesn't even opt for his Remnants at 6. He just doesn't have the room to even play aggressive with Remnants. So he's just going to be stuck in this farming lane, trying to match the pressure of that Veno. And with more levels on the Slight and Chains, maybe he finds a kill op if the creep wave is low enough. But it's still a risk. You still have no levels in shield.
In trouble again. Yopaj has made a rotation on that Tiny. Forev trying to run, but they should have the damage, and they will. Skem does pick up the kill, and now Jocam will be forced to Icarus dive out of there. That makes it a 4-0, and Miracle will end up dying. Raging Potato, Gale, Poison Nova. It's simple as that. And even bot lane again, Paulson dies. It's a 6-0 at 8 minutes in. T1 yet to find their first kill.
Yeah, they've just got such a slow draft. Like, there's a lot of potency with their Wombo combo. It's just the Neon's lanes are really just stronger. And Neon is pulling off that execution. They're not letting go of the aggression. You see them immediately rotate mid. The scan out will save IYD. But if they're not careful, they're going to lose their jungle.
Oh no, Icarus dive getting cancelled there by Yopaj. Just Jocam waiting too long on the dive, trying to go for some added damage on Januel before he leaves. And the Avalanche just chipping him on the backside. And now Forev trying to deal with this Ursa. Skem is going for another dive underneath the tier 1. Yopaj is rotated again. Forev, I don't think he survives this as Yopaj does scout him out. Enchant Totem can delay things, but Skem is right there. The Avalanche comes out. Yopaj with the toss. Forev still surviving somehow, but ultimately they will have the control. That's going to make it a 2k net worth lead here for Neon Esports. And they are yet to drop a kill.
Yeah, T1 just really getting swept away with a really greedy lineup. They're still trying to find the levels and the farm under Dusa, under Enigma. And Paulson, I mean, this jungle investment, he's building up, but you're at the point where IYD is also dipping into the jungle. So that space to farm shrinks. It is getting a bit stuffed up in that jungle, and Neon, they're not going to let go. They're just going to keep invading, find the jungle now, maybe find a kill.
Yeah, Paulson caught out. Avalanche toss is going to be more than enough to kill him. Jocam, he can Icarus dive out of there. And he will. Just wanted to take a couple hits from Yopaj before he did. It's, I mean, the brighter side is Medusa is still farming. In Your Dream, top of the net worth board on that Medusa. Still hitting creeps the best he can. All these boundary runes are being snatched away, but now Forev does go for a Fisher on Januel, but doesn't get the block off. They had Cookie anyway. But if In Your Dream can just keep farming up like this, then maybe T1 later on can turn this around. So Jocam might actually find the first kill here for T1, though no, Januel will be fine to just walk away. But it really is going to be on the shoulders of that Medusa now to try and carry this game for T1. In fact, Pauluson's going to die again. No, he'll be fine. He'll walk out.
Yeah, it's a lot riding on the shoulders of IYD. I love the aggression coming out from Neon. They can't relent in this game. They have to keep that pace up. You look to them to try to find objectives. As long as they're not finding these towers, I mean, that jungle from T1 is pretty stuffy, but it's still there. So you're still finding that farm on IYD you mentioned. With all those rotations now, Miracle has a free lane to somewhat recover in. Does have pretty much max Sleight of Fist, so he can do some right-click damage. And you see
JoeCam.
the commitment down mid.
Yeah, JoeCam has to be careful. In Your Dream's going to show up. He
Oh.
doesn't have Stone Gaze, but they do get Januel. Now the Rubik play hard will die, and Yopaj has gone too far.
Ooh.
They commit 5 heroes, they find 3 kills, and that's going to be a massive fight for the side of T1. The Raging Potato just pops his head in, gets a quick courier snipe, and then backs off again.
Yeah, that's not a set of kills that T1 should have found. Neon, with her aggression, kind of get punished for being a bit too far forward. And T1 does find a nice injection in those kills. You look at the net worth again, IYD is still farming great. Still trading spots with Scam. It's not the best spots in Miracle.
Oh, the Venom. Avalanche going to come out from your pass, trying to cancel that dive out from JoeCam. He almost dies. Now the kiss is flying out. They will get the Phoenix in time, but they lose Raging Potato. He got that Poison Nova off, but there'll be no follow-up as In Your Dream does use the Stone Gaze, but no. Yopaj, he wants to keep going. Nice stun out from the creep there from Polison. Yopaj, he was closing the gap. Instead, now going to go on the Enigma, and Polison may have overstayed his welcome. He will die to Januel on the Snapfire. So, still not too bad for T1. You ended up finding that Pos 3 Veno. Does cost you both your supports, but right now you need everything you can get on T1. And Miracle, that is not the Remnant, sir. Right into Yopaj. He won't die though. He does survive, and now Remnanting back in, trying to go back onto that Rubik. JoeCam gonna be there with the follow-up damage. They have a stun out from that dominated creep though. Play hard, still surviving somehow. Will try to run away. Does go down. And T1 just gonna try and defend this T1 mid tower.
Yeah, they've got to hold on to these objectives. The fact that Neon has not really found them is enough to buy you some time here. So they're finding some counter kills. They're still finding farm up. You're slowly building up, although Forev.
Manuel.
Dire's top tower
Cookie? No, he won't throw it out. Still going after Forev, but now this might cost him his life as Miracle has joined in. Still trying, but ultimately will die. Forev getting ticked out by those Venom wards, but he will be able to TP out and survive just fine. Meanwhile, top lane, Black Hole, play hard. Actually stole the Black Hole away from the Enigma, does turn it around. Now Yopaj is there with the Avalanche toss, taking out JoeCam In Your Dream. Trying to turn around and find a counter kill here. Can't quite finish off Yopaj on the Tiny. It's been a real back and forth this game, but Neon Esports, they do hold a 4K net worth lead now, still at 13-6. And Skem has grouped up top lane to try and take down that T1 top tower.
They really have to start hunting these objectives down just to take more control away from T1 and really start to drain that jungle off as T1 is still steadily building up. I mean, you look at Forev, he's just about 1,000 gold away, gets the deny down mid. So that's control still going to Neon, although you would like that gold, but it's just not quite there. With the blink up and running Yopaj though, you're probably not safe anymore. He's just going to have that blink avalanche toss. And as we've seen, T1, they're not very tanky yet.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, they're going to start invading that Radiant jungle. Miracle going to try and maybe find out Raging Potato here on that Veno. We'll spot him out. Just wants to take care of these Veno wards. Raging, moving forward. Has to be very wary of this, though. Yopaj jumping in. Avalanche toss. Miracle gets blown up. Now Forev's in trouble. He does have the Echo, but just ends up going down. And Yopaj still chasing after JoeCam now. They will net him up, and looks like JoeCam should be alright, though Yopaj still trying to sneak his way in the tree line. Does have Avalanche toss. He's just waiting for the right moment. Oh, there's 3 heroes right next to him. He's going to find Polison. Avalanche toss is going to be there. Polison will survive, however. Now, he may have gone too far. Yopaj needs to run out. Nice cookie there from Januel. But they're still willing to fight. Raging. Poison Nova will fly out. And now the toss once again onto JoeCam. Finding another kill onto T1. And I've got to tell you, John, this core ES from Forev, I'd hate to say it, but his blink dagger timing is kind of worse than a position 4 ES right now. It's back. Echo is there onto your Page, doesn't really do much, however. Forev going to get chased down, and Raging just going to keep eyes on him, gets the Spirit Vessel off. Gale doesn't really connect. But yeah, I mean, this is a Pons 3 ES that still hasn't got Blink at 16.5 minutes in. And, whoa, Skem. Just jumping in on Polison. Now they'll try to chase down that Ursa. Skem is falling very, very low, trying to dodge that Remnant, but he won't get away. And they do find a very important pick off there, but unfortunately all the gold goes to Jocam. Now Forev dies again.
Yeah, it's not a great game for Forev. He's really caught the short end of the stick. I think at this point you'd consider Paulus in the core for sure, just because his progression's a bit better. His EXP is most definitely not, though. It's a slow dismantling of T1. They still need to hold out. They are still somewhat finding farm on IYD. It's trailing behind Skem's farm because he does have the Battle Fury. But you can still build up on the Medusa. It's just starting to really look like the previous Medusa games we've seen outside of Boom. You're just not getting enough. You did go really greedy in this initial draft. The payoff is going to be a long way off. You need blinks up on Forev, on Paulson. For Paulson, you need a BKB as well. And for Jocam, he actually needs to use the egg. He's been killed off every single time. They might find play hard.
They may. They will. It's still just on In Your Dream. This Medusa still doing okay in terms of net worth. It's not quite amazing though. Like you look at that Ursa with the Battle Fury and Skem is just still overtaking this net worth graph. Now he's going to go for a Roshan with that double damage rune. And Neon Esports, if they can keep this pace up against T1, this Medusa should theoretically never get online.
Yeah, it's, they are hitting that stride, and we mentioned that from draft, but they just have the potential to do that. And you look at Skem, straight into the Roche. Gonna be the first Roche of the game for free. That is an Ursa. That is what they tend to do. They trade a tier 1 bot. It's not a very important objective anymore for Neon, so gonna be very happy with that pickup. And just like that, you see Skem continue to build up. He looks to be building into Sanjin, Yasha, and a Kaya as well. Does he want a Trident down the line? That's,
They're going to jump in. Forev is in trouble once again. Is going to end up dying. Now Black Hole being committed. They just want the Ursa kill. That is only an Aegis, however. Now the chase is on. Go after that Phoenix. He does get the egg off, but he's going to get bursted so quick. Poison Nova was there, but now In Your Dream doing a fair bit of damage here. Raging Potato will end up dying. Miracle does also go down, though, and now Skem going to go after that Medusa. They do have the fish around. Echo as well from Forev. They will secure the kill onto Skem. That did cost the buyback out from Miracle and Forev to get this done. Now perhaps they'll find play hard on the Rubik, but your Page is waiting around the corner just in case. Looks like play hard should be okay to TP. Maybe not Januel, who did try to go for that outpost still and does get it in time. Now they'll go back onto In Your Dream. He is completely out of mana. Cookie lands as well, but they won't have the follow-up damage. Januel's trying, but he has no skills left. But your Page has Avalanche in 1 second, has Blink in a second, just going to need to break that gap, and he will get it. That is a big kill out for Neon. And considering you just committed all those buybacks on T1, I can't say it was worth it.
No, it's definitely not. Like, they did find the counter kills, but man, are you behind, and they're going to lose more. Forev.
Maybe not. Yopaj is falling low. Remnant's in. Miracle doesn't commit quite yet. Yules is there on Yopaj. He's going to try and run away. Raging Potato still doing a lot of damage out to Forever, but he's getting healed up. And now Yopaj getting Icarus dived on. Should die and does, but Raging is not done yet with Forever. He still wants the Earthshaker dieback. He is going to get it. Now another fight going to break out. Januel jumps in on the Snapfire. Fish is stolen by Playhard. Joe he will also go down. Now the Enigma getting lifted up through the TP will die as well. And no matter what happens, Neon Esports continue to get the advantage in these team fights.
Yeah, they've got T1's number. T1 went for such a greedy draft. IYD comes in, tries to find John Yuel, but
no.
Just can't. Just can't. And John Yuel again, Mike. I believe this is the 9th blink for Snapfire overall. So it's up again. He did this yesterday. He's doing it once more. The blink in your face, shotgun and cookie. It is potent. And John Yuel is making it work. T1. I mean, you're at the point. Look, if you look at the graph. Playhard has more farm than Miracle.
Yep.
You know, it's not any. I don't know how to say this, but it's just bad. It's just bad for T1. You know, it's in shambles.
It is in
The
shambles.
greedy draft they've run out of space to farm in. You've got an SNY on IYD just because he has to keep fighting, and it's not quite paying off. He's tapered behind even the Venomancer now. So the progression you were looking for is taken off. They need to land that combination. They need the blink and Forev. Even Paulson, but they just can't find the goal.
They're going to just try and keep buying in your dream time. So eventually this draft from Neon should drop off. Sunray, Raging Potato is going to fall quite low. But again, another fish route from Playhard is going to stop them in their tracks. They just can't chase him down. They're so grouped up in this little dire spot, they just can't go anywhere else. So anywhere else they go, they'll probably just get picked off. Scam gonna farm a neutral camp now. Paulson does spot it out. So does In Your Dreams. They'll try and force him out of this jungle. But that's just going to mean he's going to bring teammates up now. And Yopaj is, of course, going to be there with that invis. Does jump in on the Enigma. Paulson about to fall. Will get quite close to dying. And there's some Mortimer's Kisses just to ensure he does.
It's T1 just out of space to farm in. Very easy for Neon to punish. I really want Scam is he really going for this? He has the Sanjin Yashi. He's going for the Sanjin Kaya next. Just to stack the Sanj effect. Just to stack the Sanj, I think. Just status resist. I guess that's the only reason I can see.
Well, I'm sure. Better get some stats on how many times that's happened. That's I haven't heard that one before. Yopaj gonna get an avalanche toss off in your dream, but Gale does not connect. You still have that poison over there. No Spirit Vessel charges. Egg will be popped. Raging. Can't take that out, but Januel can. He does blink in. Getting that kill. Now the avalanche toss in your dream. Falling low, but the poison over as well. Midnight Pulse, though. Paulson trying to fight back with his team. In your dream will hold his ground. And Raging should die. He gets fissured, and Sleight of Fist will be enough. Mind you, In Your Dream is still falling low, and now Yopaj jumps in and finishes off the kill. Miracle trying to get away, but they get the cookie. And Forev, he is 50 gold off the blink. Not now. Not now, Forev. Run. And Paulson, he's just standing there with the Shadow Amulet. He's like, I don't want to... I see nothing. Oh no.
It's gone.
He went for the courier bait. Januel baits him out. He doesn't even get a hit in.
Oh man. Oh T1. They find one kill. It comes at the cost of everything else, and well, another one.
Another one. DJ Khaled would be proud. Joe Cam gonna go down. And Scam.
Yeah.
It's gonna take the tier 2 mid tower. They now have a 21k net worth lead. At 25 minutes in, that's almost 1k a minute.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's just gonna get worse. T1. I mean, if they had the blink on Forev, you might be seeing something more, but you don't. You don't. Paulson also is just opting for the Glimmer Cape because he can't even save for the blink. You've got the Ags now as well.
Oh,
On
that's a
play
problem.
hard, I mean,
Yeah, that's a
he's
problem.
got everything. He doesn't. It's only the blink missing for play hard, but
He doesn't
doesn't
need it.
seem like he needs it. Yeah, he doesn't. Forev has his blink, so maybe they can get a big slam. But such an look at the farm
Oh
on
my.
Skem. He has the heart up. He didn't go for the meme. He went
Okay.
for the heart, realizing it makes more sense. And Paulson's just dead. No, no, he's dead.
No, he probably
Right?
is dead. He's poisoned. The poison doesn't
Oh
care
my
for your invis, and now Genuel going on to Jokam, who just Icarus dived. Oh, it's one of those games, John. It's just
Oh, Scam.
Scam's got a heart up. He's not afraid.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah.
And it's time
Oh
for high
boy.
ground. Yopaj, Avalanche Toss, Miracle gonna remnant out of there, but gets lifted up. Mortimer's Kiss is flying in on the Medusa. They just take him out. Just has no sustain. Now Skem just going under tier 4 towers. Just doesn't care because he has a heart.
Oh.
Yopaj, Avalanche doesn't quite get the toss off on In Your Dream.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And they are just tickling this Fuzzy Wuzzy Bear. Skem just really just taking no damage. Will eventually just back out anyway.
Yeah, but you've got T1 stuck to their high ground once more. They're in a situation where they can't really do much. They could try to go for their Wombo combo, but look at Neon. They're just tossing Skem. It's only Skem in front.
Well, Forev
They
has
can
the blink
afford to
up
do
at
this.
least. You've at least got the blink echo now. Fisher. That'll be the tier 3 gone.
Has fallen.
And it looks like Skem's going to have a bit of a back off. Roshan will be up in a minute and 20 seconds. Raging Potato's slowly going to chip away at these racks. Your classic Venomancer just spamming wards on the high ground. In Your Dream will thank him for the added gold value, as he doesn't really have anywhere to farm right now. Well, Neon have the rest of the map to themselves.
Yeah, they've just taken over. And again, there's no space to farm for T1. Still have to see Forev's blink in action. It feels like they're going to rely on that and a really well-placed egg from Jokam. And then maybe the follow-up black hole with a Stone Gaze. I think if it's so much when you're this far behind that you have to get done.
Oh,
and,
Yopaj
Is under attack.
just running through with an avalanche. Don't mind me, just avalanching. At top lane, looks like Miracle has been caught again. You will die on the Ember. Mid lane, they get the Yules off on the Enigma. He does have Black Hole, but how do you commit it in this instance? Mortimer's Kiss is just flying out. Paulison is burning alive right now, and he will die. And now, they'll just continue going onto that tier 3, jumping in there, Skem. Yopaj gets a kill onto the Phoenix, Poison Over out. Echo on 1. Fisher there as well. Skem just doesn't care. Now a nice Fisher coming up from the Rubik, and well, they'll buy it back on In Your Dream. They'll try one more time. But this game is about at that point where it just could be over.
Middle barracks are under attack.
31k net worth lead now. It's over 1k a minute for the side of Neon Esports.
Structures are fortified.
Skem has a Deso up.
Dire's middle barracks
He just wants to finish
Oh,
these buildings
God.
faster. And they'll get the mid racks. They'll back off.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
No, Raging's back in. Biggie Gale doesn't have Poison Nova. Another nice Fisher out from Play Hard. And Play Hard's just stealing spells every time he gets the chance. We'll take the Mystic Snake for himself.
Attack.
Always nice for farming.
Yeah, and Neon again. They played a stall game. You've got the Blink and Rubik. Roche is back up. Skem just melts it. Aegis and Cheese just gonna go their way. Not like they really needed it, but it's there. And T1, a huge deficit to play up against. You look at Dota Plus Mike. Somehow, Still a 1% chance for
1%?
T1 to win.
Wow.
Yeah, 1%. Yeah, this is
That's a big
quite
percent.
generous. Yeah, that's very generous. For 35k, 413 and 31 minutes. That's a lot of stock they're putting into Medusa.
Miracle. Gonna be alright. I mean, in all fairness, In Your Dream can bring this back, but he's currently behind by 9k in comparison to Skem on the Ursa. So forget about kiting the Ursa. There's just no chance of that happening right now. Skem's about to hit level 25 as well. Now Yopaj just jumps in for the toss back. Forev will get in there as well. Stone Gaze does come out. He does get the Ursa stoned up, but just there's no follow-up. The kisses flying out is enough. Paulson has Black Hole. Might want to commit it on Skem, but won't bother. And Miracle also ends up going down. Now In Your Dream going to jump back in. He can't really afford to die, but it's GG well played anyway. They have called it. They have had enough. And Neon Esports take a 2-0 victory over the side of T1.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of greed from T1. Easily punished by Neon. Neon just running away. A much clearer win for them this time, and T1, unfortunately, take that 2-0 loss.
It was a bit of an unexpected 2-0. I think most people at best would have assumed a draw. But
Yeah.
I believe the favorites in this were T1. But yeah, I mean, look, that last draft, I personally thought it was going to be pretty darn decent. But then Neon Esports, they just won every lane. Like, it was such a dominant lane victory that by the time you hit that mid game, it was just all over. They just couldn't compete.
Yeah,
Nevertheless,
they really just went greedy.
Nevertheless, we will have our next series coming up straight after. It is going to be Signal Ultra versus RR for our next series. So it'll be about 20 minutes before that starts. It is MLP on johxfire. We'll be back very, very soon for the next series of the day.